Good morning, happy Saturday from Berkey Farm. It's the last day of bean harvest, minus the 30 acres of double crop, but those don't count. So we're gonna get going a little bit. We got some fertilizer to spread. I've got my son Rylan with me, and he was checking out the grain bins, so I thought, perfect opportunity to show you guys the grain bins too, right? We haven't really looked at these since they've been done. So as most of you will know, we did a big grain project. We did a grain project down here. It's a Berkey this past year. Last spring, we tore down 3 old bins that were all in a row right here. We had a 24-foot diameter, 8,000 bushel bin, and then 2 21-foot diameter, 5,000 bushel bins. We took all 3 of those out. Do you need help? He's good. And we put these 2 27-foot diameter bins in. This one is much taller. This is 11 rings, that one is 6 rings. And so it gained us some storage and made it much nicer having 2 really good bins rather than 3 crappy little bins. So this is the inside of a brand new grain bin. We've got a grain spreader up there at the top, right in the center, that's gonna spread the grain out so it doesn't all just peak up in the center. We've got some roof vents there. There's a ladder. There's a ladder so that you can climb down from the top if you need to get in here for any reason when the grain is in here. They have a sump, we call it, in the middle here. There's a door or a grate on top of it right now, but that opens. There's a lever on the outside to pull that open, and then the grain falls down through it into the unloading auger. The unloading auger is in that tube that then dumps it into the grain leg. This is our sweep auger. You'll notice there's some what we call intermediate sumps here. They're kind of in the middle. There's 3 of them. That's so when you're pulling grain out of the center, it's going to come down in a cone shape, right, or an inverted cone. We open these ones up to bring down one side of it, and then we can start this sweep auger, and it will very slowly work its way around the bin, bringing all of that grain to the center to help empty the bin out. So we are standing on an aeration floor. So this floor has a bunch of little holes in it, and it's elevated about 10 inches off of the concrete underneath, and then there's a big fan that blows air underneath that. It comes up through the grain to help cool the grain down, maybe dry it out just a little bit. So anyway, that's the inside of our grain bins here. The other one over there is basically identical, just a little bit shorter because we needed the angle to hit it with our downspout from our grain leg. This bin sits a lot closer, so it could be taller and still hit it. So anyway, there's some of the grain system upgrades. You ready to go spread some fertilizer, bud? All right, let's go. So we've got a spreader all loaded up with a full load of potash here. We got a little bit more in the pile. We should be able to go spread this out and then use that up, or at least clean that pile up. We won't be able to spread it all till we're done combining the field that we got to do today, but we'll get it all in the spreader anyway. Well, we got the big field there done. We need to work around our equipment here a little bit. We're doing this little field on the corner where we finished up combining last night. And yeah, using up the spreader. I don't think we should have enough to do this field. I don't know if we'll quite use it all up or not. Doesn't matter. We're gonna be close to the right amount. Looks like the landlord took his skid steer and went around the outside of these lots and scraped some of the dirt and trash or whatever else was there back a little bit. That's okay. Spread it out in the field. There's my line. Right there. Okay, well, we'll wrap this one up. So the last field that we did, that big one, it was all one zone. It's 160 pounds across the whole thing. This one here has some colors. We go anywhere from 150 to 250 pounds per acre of potash. So a little bit different rates. Across here, that's all soil type based. So, yeah. Well, we're gonna make it here. We've got about 5,000 pounds left in there. I got 1 pass left to make, and that's all we can get spread here for today. So, it is 10:48. We can probably get started combining beans real fast. You hungry?
Yeah.
We'll probably go grab some lunch quick, and then we'll get started. Trying to clean our pile up here. Gonna have to do a little shoveling. Got our pile all cleaned up and in the spreader. We got just shy of 16,000 pounds. I have to look in my book to see what we're supposed to have for this last field, but we should be fine. 5.73 tons. So we got plenty. That would be just shy of, it'd be like 11.5. So yeah, we were gonna have a little extra. I knew that we were gonna have a little extra. That's okay. We'll either double spread some of this or maybe we'll throw it in some corn stalks. Probably a good idea. We are ready to go here. We got to jump across the road, so that's the field, that's the last one. We do have a low power line here, so we've got to keep our grain tank covers closed until we get out onto the road. We're gonna wait for a big clearing in traffic, get them opened up real quick, jump into that field, and get going. So, got my Buckeyes are on the iPad today, so we're gonna be watching that. And combine and beans. It's a good day. Next week we get to shell corn and watch football. That's even better. Well, we're off to a rough start here. Trying to do end rows, and I got a slug that plugged the feeder house. I had to dig all that crap out. We finally got it. There was a broken knife and guard right in the center of the head, and it was pushing and eventually piled up and pushed in, and I couldn't see it because of the dust. So we just got it fixed. I think we're good to go. Well, there are a little better beans here than that last field we did. 61 average. We're 21 acres into this. We've worked around the house lot over here. Behind another one now. This is the farm that you guys notice every time we're here that there's a for sale sign by. A couple of for sale signs. This farm's been for sale for several years. The landlord, we don't own it. The landlord is got it lotted off for house lots. So some of them have sold, some of them have not. Only one house has actually been built, and it's on the far, it's clear on the far end, and kind of we already farm around that house lot here. So yeah, they're long, skinny 7-acre lots here. I don't know how many there are across the field, but I have heard that he's sold several of them in the past year. We'll see if anybody wants to build now that the beans are coming off. But from what I understand, if I remember right, they're nobody's really going to do anything now. So we'll keep farming it, but it's, you know, just a little bit, or, you know, we don't know how long. For next year, probably for sure. After that, who knows? We've got some more bald eagles we're watching today. A couple of them there, and one of them just flew away with a dead something. Dusty. That's cool. There's 4 of them there now. That's so cool to watch. I want to see him catch a rabbit. We're getting down towards the end of it. My little rider buddy's over here, so we're gonna go talk to him. Rylan has crawled into the corner so that we have room, so we'll see if these kids want to ride. We have had a gaggle of riders here. I think we rotated through 3 sets of 2 each, 6 different kids. Even Rylan got out to go play on their bouncy house and their playground stuff over there while I gave some of the other kids rides. So he made some friends today. And yeah, we're on the last round here, which is awesome. So we're gonna finish these up. It is just 5 o'clock now. And I don't know if we're gonna shell corn tonight or not. We're gonna see what kind of mood Phil's in. I'm gonna get the combine back, get the head off, get everything switched over to running corn, get the corn head hooked up and ready to go. And we might be able to do that before 6, and then we'll see. I'm hoping we'll at least go open a field up tonight. So we will see how it goes. These beans were decent. Made 62, gonna make 62. We'll take that.
64.
Well, that spot was 64, yeah. So we got our yield map up here now.
You want to drop the head over here, or are you going to drive over by your pickup?
I was just gonna drive the combine back to the farm there. We made it. All right, what a deal. Soybean harvest 25 wrapped up in the books. We do still have about 30 acres of double crop beans to run. They're nowhere close to being ready. Back up at Waldron, it'll be a while before we would get to them. So they don't count. Yeah, but we're in good shape here. I did, you can't see that. I lost a guard over there, see it, missing? I lost that a while ago. And I didn't stop to fix it because I lost the skid plate that goes underneath it, and I don't have one. I don't have one here, so there wasn't much I was going to be able to do to fix it. So we got a little bit of a ragged cut over the last 20 acres or whatever it was, but we got it. We got it done. So we'll get that fixed before we do our double crops. yeah,
I don't
not
see
ideal.
the
So
guard.
it's on the knives over there. We're missing one of the guards. So anyway, we're gonna get unloaded into the cart here. We're just gonna cross country this back to the farm over there where the header cart is, because it's still where I left it, and I can drop the head there, and we gotta go back there anyway. So since we can make it without going on the road, we're just gonna do that, and then we'll see if we can get stuff ready to go to corn. Are you excited? We're done. Are you excited? Oh, I got a kind of. I guess it is what is today? The 10th? 11th of October. It's a reasonably early soybean harvest, or finish to it. This is about when we would normally start shelling corn, so we're right on track, right on pace. It's one of those, I won't call it rare, but one of those years where we don't do any corn before we finish beans. Usually we'll switch back and forth a little bit. Sometimes we'll switch back and forth a lot. We did not today, or this year, so that's all right. He's right, it is a bummer. We don't have any more beans to combine. I like combining beans, but I like shelling corn more, so we're gonna do that instead. All right, ooh, too fast. Forgot I still had her in high gear. We're gonna drive out into the field here and kick all that stuff off of our feeder house. That's 285 acres worth of soybean dust sitting there, and we haven't had a strong enough wind to keep anything blown away from it real good. That's a little better. I need to bring my leaf blower down here and blow this stuff off a little bit. But we'll get to that. We got 3 things we gotta do to switch over to corn. First thing we need to do is open up that side shield and get covered in dust. We gotta shift our rotor into slow speed. So this handle right here, we gotta get that pushed all the way in. Okay, next up, we gotta pull the knives out of the chopper. Like that. Third thing, we're gonna open this cover and shift the chopper into low speed. Like that. Fourth thing, we gotta come over here to this side and move this handle to put the deflector down. Ugh. Like that, so that cobs don't beat the crap out of our sieve and chaffer in there. So, there we go. Just looking inside. Everything looks good in there. This shield right here is the one that we just put down to deflect the cobs and keep them from getting flung back forward. And you see those slots in the floor there, that's where these knives here that we pulled out go into. They go in to help chop up soybean stems, and we pull them out because the cobs would destroy them. So everything's good in there. We'll close that, turn our light off. That's it. Hook up the head and we are ready to go. While we're here at the farm, close to the fuel trailer, we need some fuel, so we're gonna fill her up while I get the corn head drug out of the barn. Have I ever told you guys how awesome this Boss fuel trailer is? Oh man, it's great. Drag the corn head out of the barn here. When I put this, but I'll be able to get to it. All right, we should be ready to go here. We have not run the head since we had her all tore apart last winter. If you've been around long enough to have watched that, you'll know we completely rebuilt this head last year. We put new deck plates on. We put new deck plates on both sides. At least this black one is new. Oiled everything up, painted everything. That was the big thing, is we literally painted the entire head, so it looks brand new. So it's in good shape, should be fine, but we got to run it slow when we get started here just to make sure we put everything back together right. Oh, look at our baby corn head. Got her all hooked up, got the snouts down, got the stalk stompers down. We're gonna run everything here just to make sure everything is working like it's supposed to, and change our crop type to corn so we can get everything good here. Looks okay, sounds okay. speed are we on? Speed 2, that's where we want it to start with. Okay. I think we're good here. We have made it to a field, and we're gonna try it here. We'll see how things go. We're gonna try and load a couple of trucks. Grain cart, maybe, something like that today. I don't know. Let me get comfortable. We'll check in a few. All right, well, it's going here. It says it's wet. It says it's like 25% corn, so it looks like it. It's sort of green yet. I'm hoping this is just the end rows and it's much drier once we get out in the field, but we'll see. If this corn is 25%, it's gonna be a slow, miserable harvest here at Berkey till we can get back to Waldron into some drier corn, but we're here, we're doing it. I'm not making a second trip. Okay. We are, we're about full already. Just doing a round on these ends, basically. But we got enough room to get the trucks in here and stuff, so one of the landlords is gonna give Phil a ride. He's gonna go get our grain cart. I'm just gonna wait here for him. But we're gonna get out and check, see what we see on the ground. I think we still have my pan on there. We could do a loss test here. But, yeah. I'll just wait a few minutes. Yeah, it's still there. I put it on there this morning. I was going to use it in the beans, and then I didn't. Since I wasn't able to get a scale or a weight yesterday, I was going to try and do it today, but let's see what we've got out here. Okay, well, there is some kernels here. We got to clean this up. That's too much. Cobs look okay. We got some splits. A little bit bigger pieces coming out the back wouldn't be a bad thing. Some of this may be header shatter loss, although there shouldn't be too much of that with 25% corn, right? So, yeah, we'll use our test pan at some point. I don't know if we'll get to it tonight. We'll get it cleaned up. No big deal. Let's see, what does this stuff look like over here? It says it's yielding pretty well, but I don't trust anything on the first round, right? We got to get some calibration numbers in it first. Decent looking ears. This one's got a little mold on it. I don't like seeing that. That one, the kernels are still pretty tight. This one, not as much. This one, they're much looser, so this ear's drier. How much what? How's come what?
Why is it white?
Because that hasn't been exposed to the sun and the rain and dew and everything else. That's just some fungus that's attacking the dead material because it gets wet and starting to decay it. There's no tar spot on this. All that black stuff is just fungus that decays dead plant material, so.
I'm gonna try and hang it in a corn so it can go.
No, just throw it in the head.
How?
I wonder, I bet I know what's going on here. I bet this corn's drier once we get off here. So this is where I would have started planting down here to Berkey. We pull in those ends and I would have started with this pass on the end row. Yeah, this is a 24 row planter, right? So we're in the first 24 rows. I probably had some fuller season corn left in the planter from finishing at Waldron, and so it's going to be a little bit wetter. Most of this field is 102 day, and I expect it to be reasonably dry. So we got to get these ends off before we make any conclusions here. That's why we can have one super dry ear, what seems like a dry ear, right next to one that doesn't seem dry at all, because that's probably a 102 day. That was probably, I don't know if I had 108 or 110 in the planter before we came down here. So that makes sense. Well, this is fun. Back in our combine seats shelling corn. I love it. I love this. I love it. So we're not going to work real late here tonight. We're going to fill a couple of trucks in a grain cart, maybe the third truck. We'll see how it goes. We are off of those end rows into some corn that looks drier, and it is drier. It is 18 and a half, and that is awesome. And it's pretty good yielding right here. So we'll see how we do. We're coming up to our roundabout up here. We got to do the end rows on this other end of the field. Really, by the time we get end rows done, we aren't going to do a whole lot more, and we're going to be out of room to put stuff. So it's 7:15 right now. That'll be all right. Be about 8 o'clock, and we'll be ready to quit anyway. Have I mentioned how much fun this is? Oh, I love shelling corn.
Yes, it's so satisfying because I like when the corns just go down.
Yeah, cool. Satisfying. Unloading on the go in the dark. This is awesome. So, well, we've got the end rows opened up here. We don't need a ton to fill the trucks in the grain cart yet. He should have enough to fill the second truck on the cart right now. and then we'll fill the grain cart up again so that we'll have another full semi-load. That should give us enough to fill both dryers and get them started, and that's probably as far as we'll go tonight. So we're gonna dig a hole through the middle here. We have to have 2 passes, side-by-side passes, in order to unload on the go with our 8-row corn heads. So I'll take this one now, and then we'll dump going away from the trucks again one more time over there, and then we'll be able to unload in this gap as we go back towards the truck, so we're not carrying extra corn and waiting around for no reason. But it'll be interesting to see what this one pass right through the middle here does. Some of this is really good corn. Now, again, until we get a field done and we can compare weights and stuff, don't trust my yield monitor very much. That said, since the first couple of years after we've gotten the yield monitor dialed in, it's usually pretty accurate, and we're never real far off, even when you start a crop for the first time. Like the active yield on this, it saves all of those measurements and stuff from the previous years, and I mean, it's constantly updating itself, but it's never been super far off after the first year or so. So while I don't know that we're accurate, I don't think that it's terrible. So I think this is pretty good corn. It says it's 17% here, so we definitely had a different variety, fuller season variety on those ends where we started. That first truck's gonna be wet, but after that, looks like we're gonna have pretty dry corn, and that is a good thing. Yep, trucks are full. Our single pass through the middle of the field. $233. If that's close, we're doing dang good. Even if that's 10% off, we're not 10%. 10% would be a lot. It'd be 23, but yeah, heck, even that would be considered pretty darn good corn for me. But if we're off by just a couple of percent here or there, that's good corn. We're in good shape. Cart's full.
Yeah, I can tell.
We're gonna finish this round, and that'll be it. All right, well, we got a little over 15 acres done. 15 and a half, it says. 215 average. I will take that. It's going to climb drastically if the passes are in the 230, 240 range, so the end rows are always the worst. All right, well, we're going to shut her down here, lock everything up, and we'll see. We'll talk about tomorrow here in a few minutes. We had a really good day. Made it home here, but we are done with beans. That's a good thing, and we got a good start on the corn there. Got about 15 acres done. Preliminary results are corn's going to be okay. At least the stuff in Berkey. Now, we had a lot more rain there early in the summer, so I expect that corn to be really good. But yeah, we're in good shape. Now, for tomorrow, tomorrow's Sunday. Got church in the morning, and then the boys have flag football games tomorrow. On any other normal Sunday, I probably would think about not going to those games. However, my wife is not here. She's in Italy, and so I will be taking the boys to flag football. Those games are both at 2 o'clock, so I don't know if we're going to make it to Berkey to farm tomorrow or not. It'd be after 4 before I could get there. If we want to go and do that, we'll go and do that. So Phil will go down and deal with the corn that we shelled tonight, get that dried, and see where we're at with some of the moisture and stuff as we run it through the tester, and not just what the combine says. But yeah, so long story short is there may or may not be a video for tomorrow. As of right now, I'm guessing that we will go down tomorrow late afternoon because I want to keep moving on stuff. But I can also see the scenario where we just take the day off and don't do much. So either way, I will see you when we're back to work here. Have a great weekend. And thanks for watching this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave your questions and comments down below. We'll see you.